Uh, it's your boy Florida Mike holding it down right now. I'm solo. I have my co-host, my brother Nana Cygnus, joining shortly. But just wanted to first and foremost say um, the game today didn't go as we expected or we wanted it to go, but we still control our own destiny. We're 2 games left in the season. We're not in a bad spot. We clinched the playoffs. So even though we lost to a horrible, well, I'm not going to call any NFL team horrible. These are all professional athletes. But I'll say losing record Atlanta Falcons team, who also beat the Saints. Um, we still got a lot to keep our heads up about. This is for them. This is just a signature win. For us, we have a bigger goal. So whether we won today or lost, we still have to win out. We still want to finish the number 1 seed. So it just made it a little bit more challenging now. So we beat the Rams Saturday. We beat the Seattle the following week. Number 1 seed. Just like that. All this today you feeling goes away just like that. So, uh, I got a lot of Falcons fans in my family that's going to be trash talking me, but it's all good because they're not in the playoffs. We are. So we have bigger goals to achieve. But I want to say, too, to the Niner fans, I love the Bay Area. I'm so glad we showed up and showed out. Let's remind ourselves we can't get spoiled this year. I know it feels good to win. I know it's been about 6 years since we made the playoff appearance, but we were not expected. If you would have told anyone that we were going to be 11-3 at this juncture of the season with what we did the last year, people would have thought you was crazy. They would have said, "Man, what are you smoking?" But we showed up and showed out this year. And to me, we accomplished more than what our expectation was at the beginning of the year. So now that we've been on a winning record this year, having a tremendous season thus far, let's not lose sight that most of these players on this team have not been at this level before. Like most of these guys have not even had a winning record or made a playoff game. Most of the team. Of course, you got Garoppolo, who's got a Super Bowl. You got Richard Sherman, who's got a Super Bowl. But most of our team has not had that. So let's put it in big perspective and let's try our best. I know as fans we get caught up in the emotions of the game and we're excited at the same time, but let's try our best to not worry about or concern ourselves with what other teams are doing. Like best case scenarios, that's just all for talk. At the end of the day, we take care of our business. We win our next 2 games. None of that matters. You know what I mean? Who cares what Green Bay does? Who cares what another team does for us to get top seed? Who cares what the Saints do? We got to focus on San Francisco, and that's all that matters is our team. So we clinched the playoffs. Now on to the next goal. The next goal is win the next 2 games, get the number 1 seed, and then we'll focus on it from there. So 1 game at a time, 1 goal at a time. Build it brick by brick, like we've been saying this whole season. That's not gonna stop. But I also want to make note too that those injuries that we had today, some people felt like they caught up on us. Me personally, I feel like without all the players that we had today, the critical players that we missed out on, we still should have won. Bottom line, we still had chances to win that ball game. Um, you know, there's a lot of things that happened today that we left some points out there, possessions out there. First and foremost, that extra point by Robbie Gould today, missing that, gave the Falcons a 1 point, a lead or whatnot. I think we would have been tied had he made it. I have to go back and recheck the score at that juncture, but I believe we would have been tied had he made the extra point. The third down that George Kittle had where he slipped and fumbled? Had he had that ball and not fumbled, maybe that'd be a first down. Maybe Atlanta doesn't get the ball back. So there's a lot of things that could have happened that didn't go our way. We had a rough stint the last 3-4 games where we played some tough competition. We played Baltimore. We played the Saints. We blew out Green Bay, but it was still a physical game. So we had some games where we just had a letdown game today. Atlanta was a trap game, if you want to call it that. In between 2 division games that are very, very key for us going forward. So remember, guys, despite my family talking trash to me about the Falcons win, despite critics saying whatever they're going to say, despite your coworkers or whoever talking trash, People hate us because they ain't us. Got that a little bit today, so that's true. But let's remember our goal. Our goal is to win the division. We're not playing to beat Atlanta. We're playing to win our division. So if losing to Atlanta and winning the next two games wins our division, I'm fine with it, honestly. So we just got to keep faithful, man. Got to keep going with the process. Let's enjoy this season because it's been 6 years since we were in this position, and let's hope that our team can go all the way. Um, so I want to say too, man, that there's a lot of things that I felt like the Falcons had a lot of holding personally, but I'm sure they could say that we held as well. It goes both ways. Those are mute things. Um, at the end of the day, man, they won, we lost, so we move forward. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, guys, we still got 2 games left to play, 2 critical games, 2 divisional games left to play. That is now our focus. Atlanta's done with. They can walk away with the victory. Good for them. They have nothing to show for it. They're going to go home and be watching us. So let's focus on these 2 wins, these next 2 games that are division. And also meant to do this at the beginning of the show. Big shout out to the German Nine Empire. You know, anybody that know me, man, even though I reside in Florida, been here for a little bit. I was born and lived in Germany, grew up over there. So got to show love to the German Nine Empire, man. Ich liebe Deutschland for you German speakers. Um, So yeah, while we waiting on my boys to tune in, man, I'm gonna go over a few more points while we waiting and whatnot, holding it down. Um, I think our home field advantage, a couple scenarios, man. The home field advantage is very, very key. You know, we get that first spot. We got some players that are on the IR that's been injured that can rest and heal up and hopefully be healthier going forward. That's another week off for the playoffs too. So that's that's the objective. You know, worst case scenario is that we get a wild card, finish up at what, 5th seed. Depending on the matchups, it looks like we'll probably be playing the Cowboys. I would think in Dallas first game. You know, if they went out their division, which I think they beat the Rams today. So you know they played good. They look good today, but they haven't been looking good all season. I really think we're a type of team we could play anywhere, anytime, anyone. But I'd much rather have the home field advantage. But yeah, we're fine, man. Let's not overreact. Let's not get so down about a letdown game. It happens to the best of us. I mean, any team in the history of the NFL that has a good record at this time of the year has had letdown games. We've seen it damn near every year. I mean, it happens. So we're proud of this team. We still haven't got blown out. You know, that last little fluke touchdown that the Falcons was awarded because of the reverse that we was trying to attempt to do to score, it shows up on the stats, but we all know that game was, you know, another game within 3 points that we lost. So I don't care what the stats say. Um, so yeah, I'm just ready to see us take off, us do our thing. I'm so glad that we're here. I hope we get as many healthy players back, and I hope we win these next 2 divisional games. It's going to be key. So I also like to hear from you guys, man. You guys can put comments out there. I'd be glad to respond to any questions to the best of my ability for you those watching. And thank you all for tuning in to this podcast. We told you we're serious about it. We're going to make this grow. We're doing this not just for us, but for the Niner fans out there, the ones who want the platform, who want to have a voice. And we try to bring as much substance as we can for our team, because we know that a lot of guys aren't watching our team like we watch our team. You know, you got people out there today who just seen the Niners probably for the first time when we played Baltimore. Then they saw the Saints game, and then they saw today, and they're like, "What happened?" And it's like, I mean, a lot of these guys don't watch us. They don't see every play. They don't see every snap. You know, Juszczyk scored a touchdown today, and I guarantee you, somebody watching out there who's probably not an NFL fan, but a fan of their team, or occasionally watch the Niners because they're on the West Coast. And if you live on the East Coast, you don't see us a lot. They probably just found out about some of our players today, like Juszczyk, man, who, got his first touchdown today, I believe. And Juszczyk is a huge asset to this offense. We've seen what we look like without him. We're more efficient with him. He blocks. He does so much of the dirty stuff, and he's so talented. He can catch. He can run. So I'm glad we got him. He's a big part of our offense. So, but yeah, I think I think that the Niners are going to do fine. I don't want to look too far ahead, but assuming we win these next two games, hopefully we win these next two games. I think we're going to be a team that uh, we're on a mission. And can we win the Super Bowl this year? Absolutely, we can. Will we? Yeah, it has yet to be seen. But I believe in this team. I believe in the direction we're going. I believe we're built for the future, and we're going to be around for a while. So let's enjoy this. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl, and it's hard to sustain success in this league. So let's aim for those goals, man. One game at a time, brick by brick. And we're gonna try to pull this bad boy out this year. Quest for six. I wanted to know too, man, from the Niner Empire, Niner faithful out there, our lovely Niner fans all over the world. Uh, I was just asking this question. If you're tuning in now, or even if you're tuning in later, you can always comment and make sure you subscribe and like. I meant to say that at the very beginning, but make sure you subscribe and like, please, man. We're trying to grow this thing for our Niner fans. Even if you ain't a Niner fan, you can still tune in. We talking about football. When we play your team, you see what's good, so you can still subscribe and tune in. Um, but I wanted to ask, if we win the Super Bowl this year, do you think that what would you rate this Niner team compared to the other five teams? Even though it's different eras, it's hard to compare because the rules were different. Would this be one of your favorite teams? Like, would this team be one of the teams you consider the best? It's a two question. Which one would be your favorite Super Bowl team, and which team would be the best Super Bowl team, despite the difference in the rules and the eras? For me, so far, if we were to win this Super Bowl, they would be my second favorite team. I'll be honest. I personally was around to see the last one in the '80s. I think was '89, and then I saw the '94 Super Bowl. I remember that one. So I didn't get to see the three. I didn't get to see back in the White Clark one days. Still a little one growing up in Germany, but when I started watching American sports, I got onto it, and I really got hooked on right after it was Montana's last year or last 2 years with the Niners before he went to the Chiefs, and Steve Young stepped in, and that's why he's my favorite player of all time from the Niners. So, but yeah, I would say the '94 team is my favorite team. The best team, yeah, it's hard. Like I said, with errors, different rules. I would have to go back and look at some of the ones that I missed, like live. Actually, I would have to go back. I mean, I watched the replays. Obviously, I remember when we beat the Dolphins, and I seen the Bengals. We beat them twice, and the Broncos. Those Super Bowls. Of course, we beat the Chargers, but I personally, this year, I personally want to play the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I know matchup wise, our defense is geared towards pocket passing quarterbacks. But with the exception of Drew Brees type who can get the ball out quick. But I would much rather play the Ravens because of revenge. Honestly, that's it. I don't mind beating New England because to beat Tom Brady in New England is always a great thing. But if we get to the Super Bowl, I want to beat the Ravens for that revenge factor. And even though it's two different teams, it's still the fact that our franchise beat theirs. I would love to say that. So, but you guys let me know what you think out there. What do you think is the best matchup if we get to the Super Bowl, or who do you want to play? Is there somebody in particular you want to play? I'm cool with whoever, man. I just want to win at the end of the day. But if I had a personal choice, it would be the Ravens to beat this year. And 1A, 1B, Ravens, New England, either one. But yeah, man, I'm on here. I'm gonna hold this thing down for a little bit until my boys get on, and make sure we keep it rocking, man. Keep this Niner podcast going. We appreciate all the support. We want you guys to continuously to tune in. This is a Niner faithful show. So although we on here representing our Niners and having a platform and speaking articulate and intelligently about our 49ers, representing all day, uh, we need the support from you guys, and you guys are always going to get much love and shout out from us. So shout out to all the Niner fans that I was able to put this podcast on to in my area in Florida. Spread that word, keep it going, man. Like I said, even if you're an Niner fan, tune in. We might be playing your team, and you subscribe. You can see what's good, what the analyst is from our perspective, and also we love to hear from some away fans as well, so we could talk and chop it up, man, in an intelligent way. Um, got this crazy mosquito flying around, but yeah, man, you know it was a tough loss today. It was certainly unexpected, but it's not the end of the world. And I just hope we're not overreacting. That's it. Like, just not overreact. We've accomplished more than we were expected. So, you know, we still got 2 ball games left, and I hope we went out. I really do. One thing too, I was gonna highlight today is so I know that a lot of fans are critical of Kyle Shanahan with play calling in some stints of games. There's some no coach is going to call 100% perfect game, and we as fans, we got to really, really understand that Kyle Shanahan is a professional coach. Like, there's things that he sees that we're never going to interpret or understand. Granted, as a fan, especially someone who's watching the game, who's been a Niner fan for their whole life, or if they're an old timer and they go back before Montana, you know what I mean, and when we had other players or whatnot, they're gonna say their opinions, and that's great. But let's be mindful, man. Our head coach is also his 3rd year in as a head coach. Prior to that, he was never had any head coaching experience. Our GM is a 3rd-year GM. He's never had no GM experience, and we're 11-3 now. So I'm feeling good, man. And like the little mistakes that we as fans think about Kyle Shanahan, one thing I've heard a lot of fans doing is reverting back to the days of him in Atlanta when they felt like he didn't call good plays down the stretch. Granted, the defense gave up as many points as I don't know how much, more damn near just as more points as the Oilers did to the Bills back in the day in the playoffs or whatever that was. But you know. Um, some of those plays, man, aren't bad plays, man. Like if he executes them, if the players execute them, nobody says anything. Some of the plays that people were criticizing was, in the Seattle game, saying that we could have ran, took down more clock. But those passes that we called were like almost run plays. They were short passes that could have got yards after the catch. A lot of those balls are batted down. So I mean, you can't control a ball being batted down. Granted, if you don't run, it doesn't get batted. But you can also say if you run the ball, you don't know if we fumble. I mean, there's a risk for everything you do. So if you're gonna play and coach a game to do what you think is best for your team and put them in a position to succeed, then so be it. I'm glad he's aggressive and not scared, honestly. So however he calls it, run the pass, I'll take it. And I'm more confident in Kyle Shanahan than not. 11-3 speaks for itself. They came in here and turned our team, our franchise around in the year 3, and we're only going to go up. So I hate that we don't have. I mean, I can't say I hate it because if we did have draft picks, we wouldn't have like D Ford and Garoppolo. But we got a first round still. Um, you know, I'd be interested to see. Um, it's kind of early to say this right now, but I'd be interested to see what direction we go, like what type of player we get, if it's offense, defense, and what position. But it's too early right now because we still got players who are coming back, and then we got some players we might let go, so that might change things. But just be interested as an early look. But to be honest, I'm talking about these playoffs. I'm talking about this number 1 seed. That's my
Yeah.
focus. Playoffs, not practice, not preseason. Playoffs. We're talking about the playoffs. So that's a good word to put in our vocabulary now to fans because it's been 6 years, man. But honestly, whether we're a first seed or a fifth seed, I ain't worried about nothing. Because at the end of the day, football is football. We got to go play. That's the nature of the business. You're not guaranteed. Our division is tough. We have 3 teams with winning records.
That's right.
So in order to get to that first seed, it's going to be a fight. So if we don't get it, so hey, we still got to man up and go play, even if we're on the road every game. Championship teams know how to win. Period. So if we want to be a championship caliber team, these are the growing pains we're going to go through. We
Yep.
understand that to be successful as a dynasty, you got to start off in the trenches. You got to start off knowing how to grow up quick. And honestly, this might be good for us to be in dogfights every game because this is a young group of guys who need to learn how to win and need to learn how to overcome adversity to be good for the future. So, if this is the mark of the Kyle Shanahan era in the first year of success, hey man, win or lose these next 2 games, we gotta be ready to battle. Even with home field advantage, there's no guarantee. It's called advantage for a reason because it's not guaranteed. You still gotta go play the game. We had home field against Atlanta today. We lost, right? So home field helps, certainly does. And I'd much rather go to Levi than to go to anywhere else, New Orleans, Lambeau, or whatever. But if we have to go back to New Orleans, or if we have to play in Lambeau for some reason, or even play in Seattle again, bring it on, bro. Bring it on. We the not an empire, baby. You're gonna get gold rush. We ain't scared of nobody, anytime, anywhere. Who got it better than us? I know
No.
nobody here, but y'all know the answer to that. If you're a real Niner fan, who got it better than us? You already know. So anytime, anywhere, man. You know what I'm saying? I got the shoes right here, baby. Representing all day. So, but I definitely want to hear a lot of. I'm hoping as this show goes, man, we want to hear a lot of interaction from my Niner fans or guests of other teams, and we chop it up. We have good combos, man. The goal of this show is to, like I said, bring thorough content. We have intelligent conversations, man. There's going to be trolls out there, but at the end of the day, hey man, let's just be adult like, man, about this, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's have good conversations. Those are the best, man. We can have our debates, but we got to respect everybody's opinion and bring substance to the table, man. Let's not talk on emotion because it's so easy to do. A lot of fans out here love their team so much, they start talking reckless or saying crazy stuff, and then they get upset when people don't agree with them or make them look foolish. You know what I mean? So let's just remember, man, have respect for one another's views, whether we agree or disagree. That's the beauty of sports. We can have conversations, man. Bring it to the table. But yeah, I think we need to get healthy. I was hoping we beat the Falcons today because um, we could have rested our players. More than likely, we'd have had more cushion. But hey, we still got to win either way. So I'm just glad we clinched. When I saw we clinched today, I was so excited. After that loss, I was disappointed. Um, at first, when I saw the replay, I was like, Julio ain't get in. But it looked like he was barely in the end zone. But hey, man, we knew he was coming. That's who they've been going to most of the game. They threw some passes to Hooper in the end zone the last couple of attempts, but we knew it was coming. And when you got a game that close with a team you should beat, you risk losing. You know what I mean? But this is actually, if this pans out how I think it might pan out, this loss might be what was needed for us to go in with that mentality of we can be beat if we don't bring our A game or if we don't step up when there's injuries. I'm not saying we took them for granted because we're not in a position to take nobody for granted. We're still a young team with little experience in the playoffs, so we have to work hard, fight and scratch to get in. But all these losses, if they're learning from them, they're only setting us up for success in the future. So you know what? I'm okay with that. I really am. This young team is growing every week, getting better every week, stepping in and filling voids. We're competing, man. You can't ask for much more than that. And this time we're winning games. We're not just competing. Last year we competed in most of our games, but we didn't win them. This year we are. So I'm happy, man. I'm excited. Um, like I said, we got to focus on knocking these 2 games out. And I really believe we're going to beat the Rams, um, when we play them. So it has nothing to do with Dallas. It just has everything to do with us. I think we're just better than the Rams. But we are going to have to play them and put our foot on their throats early and get a comfortable lead and keep it. We don't want to have another close game to the fourth quarter. Granted, we can pull it out, but who wants to be in that situation? Let's just dispose of them early and often and get them out the way so we can focus on the Seattle. And I'm sure that's gonna be a hell of a fight up there as well. We don't normally play well in Seattle, but this is a different 49er team too. That's another thing too, man. I hear a lot of Niner fans say things like, "Man, we don't win in Seattle. It's been a while." Well, man, we haven't had a good team in a while either. You know what I mean? Even when we did have some good teams or whatnot, we sure competed our asses off up there, and games could have went either way. And when we had good teams, they weren't winning in California as much either. So they started taking off and winning more when our team started declining. So, I mean, now that we've inclined back to prominence again, I don't think we can use the last few meetings in Seattle as a measuring stick of what will happen in Week 17. This 49er team is certainly capable of beating Seattle in Seattle, honestly, without a doubt. So I don't care how hard they are to play up there; they're not impossible to beat. They've lost in Seattle this year, and they can lose to us. So who cares what the history is? We didn't have the same type of team. We didn't have a good team. So, but now we do. So we'll see what happens. But Rams first. First up, we got to beat LA. That's the only focus. That's the only thing we should be focused on is the LA. Beat them, beat Seattle. Then we got that number one seed. So that way, the Saints game is it was purposeful, man, for sure. So I also want to give a big shout out to all the Bay Area people. Man, much love to you guys, man. Like everybody on the East Coast, I'll speak for most of us. I'm not gonna speak for everybody on the East Coast, but most of us on the East Coast, primarily down south in the USA, we wish we could just fly out to San Francisco, well, Santa Clara, and come to Levi Stadium and just chop it up with our Bay Area fans that's holding it down for us out there. But just know, be assured, we at these bars filling it up. When the Niners travel to the East Coast, we're filling it up in the stadiums. So if you watched every game that the Niners played on the East Coast, whether we be in Washington, Baltimore, um, when we came to Cincinnati, and definitely down here in Tampa Bay, you see nothing but red all over, man. Like we're here, we're representing. So even though we can't come out there, we're doing it right here on the East Coast. And my goal is, man, for all East Coast Niner fans, especially ones tuning into this podcast, if we can connect, man, and find a way, like we have a Niner, I don't know, like a Niner reunion or something, man, like once a year. All Niner fans from everywhere come to the Bay Area and support our team. That'd be dope, man. That's something that we're also hoping to do in this podcast is not just talk 49er football, but have relationships with all Niner fans from all over the world. So we have a one cohesive family, man, a collaboration of people. So when you get on the show, you come down here to Florida, you got me down here, or we go to the Bay Area, we got people out there, or wherever you at. You know what I'm saying? And when our teams play anywhere in the world, even Niner fans in Europe, in England, if San Francisco travels in England, we get Niner fans out there because I know we got a German Niner empire. So big shout out to Germany. So we want to increase this thing, man. We want to expand it worldwide. That's why we're an empire. We have no borders. We're not a nation. Nation has borders. Empire has no borders. So we go worldwide. We take over. But yeah, man, I appreciate anybody in here tuning in, chiming in. I'm definitely gonna hold this down and bring some substance to you guys, man. I definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts, and let's get this show rolling, man. Let's get it growing. Um, one big thing that I wanted to address too, man, and this is just coming from me, hearing Niner fans, you know, talk in our circles. And I'm not saying this is Niner fans all over the world thinking like this, but a few Niner fans. Um, there are some people still out there concerned about Jimmy Garoppolo after today's game. There are some people who think that he plays pretty good against the Saints. He had a good showing against Green Bay. But then he has his moments where he appears to be rattled, or he holds on to the ball long. He doesn't throw it away, or he doesn't take off and run. Um, Mind you, Jimmy Garoppolo had a bad injury last year. So as far as the running thing goes, maybe in the playoffs we might see some more of that. But I'm sure he had a severe injury, man. He was out for the season. You got to think mentally. If you've ever been hurt, if you played a sport and you've ever been hurt and you're not able to participate in your respective sport for the rest of the year, like he was, mentally it's a block that he has to overcome. And I'm not saying that means he should take a sack or anything. I'm just saying it's easy as a fan to say, man, go run, go do this, go do that. But the last time he ran, he got hurt. So I'm just saying, as a person who plays sports myself, that mental block to overcome the injury and the surgery process again, it can stick with you. You know what I mean? It can alter some decision making that you do. You might be aggressive with passing, but running, you might be a little hesitant. So plus, man, he's still wearing a brace, I believe. So let's make sure that's fully healed. Um, and hopefully those little things like him holding on to the ball. I mean, some of those plays resulted in 15 yards for us or whatnot. It got penalties because he got hit late or they hit him too low. So at the end of the day, man, I'm just basically saying this to let's not nitpick over things like can he improve in areas? Certainly he can. Can we say, hey man, we hope Garoppolo does this, does that? Sure we can. We're fans. But to to the fans that are not confident in Garoppolo right now, man, I just ask you this: what was our record when we acquired Garoppolo as our quarterback? What was our record without him? And then ask yourself, what was our overall record with him? So that's the two question. First question: what is our overall record without Jimmy Garoppolo once he became a San Francisco 49er? And what is our overall record when he became a San Francisco 49er? And you tell me, you know, is he not a good addition to this team? I mean, 11-3 speaks for itself to me. I'm not worried about anything. He's only going to get better. So if his worst is 11-3 right now, dude, I'm fine with that. You know how many quarterbacks in the NFL right now would love to be 11-3? Go ask the AFC East outside of New England. Go ask any team. Go ask the Bengals. Go ask the Browns. Go ask a lot of these other teams, man. They would love to have Garoppolo as a quarterback or an 11-3 type situation. You know, there's other things I've heard people saying our defense is winning all the games. Last time I checked, our defenses aren't throwing passes. Last time I checked, our defense is not throwing 4 touchdowns and 1 interception last week against a Saints team. You know, so it's a team effort. There's been games where our defense has showed up and showed out and got us out of situations when our offense is struggling, like the Pittsburgh game early in the year. But then there's been some games where our offense have turned it on and helped our defense out when they struggled, like last week against the Saints. Granted, I think our offense struggled more than our defense because our defense has held opponents to a reasonable level to where we can win games. But you know, the Saints game is not an everyday thing. But at the end of the day, man, it's a complete game. We still have to score points. We still have to execute on all 3 phases of the game. If we miss special teams kicks, if we don't tackle well, if we don't score the ball, if we don't drain the clock and run the ball, if our defense don't get stops, any 1 or 2 of those phases affects us. We need all 3 phases to play at a high level and execute. It's that simple. So I'm confident in what we're doing, man. I say we're 11-3, man. I don't understand why people are having issues when we haven't seen 11-3 in 6 years. You know what I'm saying? So Garoppolo is going to be fine, man. He's I don't know the exact number of total career games he's played, but I would imagine it's a little bit over 20, and he's barely eclipsed a full season of an NFL, tenure of 1 season, 1 full season. This year might be the first year he's actually played a full season. I think a lot of people forget that. Hasn't played a full season since he's been in the league. This is his first year. He's on pace to doing that. So let's be mindful, man. Although he's been in the league for a few years, he wasn't a starter quarterback in New England.
That's right.
So let's be mindful. He's growing. He's learning. Who cares what the again, man? Stop watching these shows, bro. Y'all watch these critics. I mean, yeah, these critics. I'm gonna say that these critics, these so-called experts on ESPN and other networks, and because they played in the game, y'all forget they have scripts. Y'all forget their job is to bring up controversy and purposely stir pots. One week, I don't watch these shows, but the reason I'm aware of what they're saying because people I know watch these shows and they bring it to me. So when I used to watch these shows, their format has still not changed. There's one guy who's the protagonist, another guy that's an antagonist, and then they have a mediator sitting there who happens to always be a nice, beautiful looking woman. And then it's one extreme view and another extreme view, and they debate over it. And they do it all the time. And then it gets to a point where as Niner fans, we get so worked up over an opinion of someone who you know undervalues us, and we act like their opinion really matters. They don't. They're not Niner fans. They don't watch our games. They're commentators, they're analysts, and journalists or whatever. And the athletes that are doing this talking, a lot of them play for teams that probably hate the Niners. So there could be some agenda inside of them that they allow their personal to interfere with their business. Like if they're a Cowboy commentator and they always say something negative, it could be. But who knows? Like who cares? Their job is to just run their mouths. They got a little script and they get paid. And the more we entertain them, the more voice and platform that they have. So that's why I said, man, Niner fans listen to Niner fans. You know what I mean? Listen to people that watch our team, people that care about our team. When they start trashing Jimmy Garoppolo, and for the few Niner fans that I've seen personally, I don't understand how we can allow someone who don't watch our team to tell us about our team. They watch Monday Night Football games, or they watch big event games like when the Niners play the Saints and it's on Fox, but they don't watch they don't watch the other games. And then when they watch some of those games as highlights, like they're not watching every play. They're not seeing Jimmy Garoppolo grow. They're not seeing how he struggles and bounces back from adversity. So it's like their opinion doesn't matter, bro. It really doesn't. So if you on the show and you ask me what I think about a so-called expert, honestly, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't care. But out of politeness, because I love my Niner fans, I'll still answer your question. But I'm always gonna tell you, most of the time, I want to tell you I really don't care what they say, because what does their opinion matter? They're not us. They're outsiders. So, um, if you get a guy like Jerry Rice make a comment, I would tune in and listen because he's a Niner. You get someone like Joe Montana or my favorite Niner of all time, Steve Young, make a comment about the Niners, I would listen because they're Niners. But the average person that's on that platform that's not a Niner fan, that's never suited up for them, um, I don't really care what they say, especially when it's negative. I definitely don't care what they say. So,
You make a valid point there, Mike. I've been letting you run the show. You've been doing great. You make a valid point. Commentators are they're always script what they say. There's a lot of Niner haters out there. They're never going to compliment the Niners when they need to be complimented. So if you want to get the best Niner context, if you want to be informed about your Niners, tune into a Niner show. Tune into our show. Here, we're always going to give you our perspective of what we think, but it's always going to be Niner related. We don't care about other teams. We don't care what other teams are doing. We solely focus on what the Niners are doing, and we focus on what direction we're going in. I just want to chime in real quick, and I'm going to let Mike finish. Mike is doing a great job today. Um, a lot of us we're spoiled. We're very, very spoiled. Why do I say that? It's because the last year we were 4-12. The year before that we were 6-10. Okay, we I forgot what we were the year before that, but they were not winning records. We were out of the playoffs before the playoffs even came around. We're 11-3. We lost to it. We lost a game that we should have won. So we're 11-3. We're writing our own destiny. We don't have to depend on nobody. We don't got to depend on no team to do this, to do that, to do this. All the Niners got to do is win out, beat the Rams, beat the Seahawks, we have the number one seed, and we win our division. So that's as a Niner fan, that's what you want your team to be. You want your team to be in the driver's seat of its own destination. You don't want to be worried about what this team is doing, or if this team does this, this will happen. Listen, we're 11-3, and we're in the playoffs for the very first time in 6 years. Let that sink in for a second. We're finally in the playoffs since we've been in a hiatus for 6 years. We're 11-3. Sure, we lost the game today that we should have won. The Niners will learn from it. They'll regroup. If we wind up with the one seed, so be it. If we wind up with the fifth seed, so be it. I know that many of you guys at the beginning of the season, if we told you, would you be happy to make it into the playoffs as a wild card six seed, as long as we get in? 80% of you will say, hell yeah, I'll take the sixth seed. That would mean that we were at least in the playoffs, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
the worst seed we can get is the fifth seed. So enjoy the ride, support your Niners, support your coach. One of the things that I really dislike, in my own opinion, is as soon as something doesn't go right, fire the coach, fire the GM. You got to ride or die. You got to ride or die with your coach and your GM. You got to support them, man. Um, Kyle Shanahan did not call a good game today. The players did not execute the game plan very well. They'll learn. They're young, and we forget that we had six players out of today's game starters. We're heading in the right direction. We're growing. We're only going to get better. Okay, so we're trending upward, not downward. So with that said, I'm going to let Mike finish this off. But I wanted to chime in just to the Niner fans. Stay faithful, stay committed. Listen, we're 11-3. We're in the playoffs after a hiatus of 6 years. Whatever happens, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Don't stress yourself out. What ifs? Don't stress out. Don't stress out on. Oh my God, what if? Enjoy the ride. Keep it on cruise control. Keep it on cruise control. Kick back, lay back, and enjoy the ride, man. We're 11-3. We're in the playoffs. If we go to the promised land, great. If we don't, then there's always next year. Enjoy the ride. With that being said, go ahead, Mike. Finish it off, brother. You've been doing great. Whenever you're done with the show, I'm gonna let you finish it, bro. Do what you got to do. When you're done, you dismiss yourself from the show, and I'll end it up, brother. It's all on you.
Oh man, appreciate it, man, and appreciate the words. Um, yeah, man, and to this point, man, my brother, 96ers, man, eloquently quoted, man. Stay faithful. Um, we've if you've been, I don't know how long most of you guys have been fans of the 49ers, but I remember when after Steve Young, when we had Garcia era, and we had some really good teams that just didn't get to the Super Bowl. I felt like, man, we were consistent. We were doing something. But man, hard times hit. We got Frank Gore, and then all of a sudden we went down for a while. We got Alex Smith eventually, and it just was hard, man. We had hard times, man. I mean, we were the doormat for a while in the NFL. So we went from being five-time champs to not even competing like that. You know what I mean? And watching Frank Gore do his thing. But once we got out of that, we showed the resilience and the ability to rise to stardom. And then when Harbaugh era came in, we did that. Then we had a 6 year hiatus from the playoffs. Now we're back with the Kyle Shanahan. So what I want to do is sustain this success. I don't want to have those dips. I don't want to be like the stock market, man. When we go up and then we go down and then we stay down, then we go back up. I want to just be consistent. I want to be consistently good, and I think that's where we're headed. As long as we keep drafting, hitting on the draft more than not, as long as we make good business decisions that don't mortgage our future, acquiring free agents that help our team, we keep doing that consistently, man. We're gonna be in the game for a while, and we're due to win Super Bowls. And I said that with a plural, Super Bowls, because I plan on winning more than one. So yeah, man, just keep your heads up, guys. Like, let's not overreact after each loss or be so dramatic and be so high on our team when we beat the Saints in their house and then turn around and we have a letdown game against Atlanta, and all of a sudden there are some fans out there ready to throw Shanahan or Garoppolo out. Like, that's absurd, man. So I'm glad we got Kyle Shanahan. He was definitely the best coach for this team at the time of availability, and I'm certainly glad we got Jimmy Garoppolo. I have no problem with that. I don't understand why that's an issue, but for some fans, but maybe they're just upset of the loss because we were expected to beat Atlanta. But who cares? It's NFL, man. I mean, hell, any team can lose on any Sunday. Y'all know that. So let's just move forward, bro. Atlanta, like I said, this win for them just bragging rights, and just to say that they beat a really good 49er team. Oh well, good for them. What do they got to play for? What do they got to show for it? Nothing. So we have a playoff. We're focused on bigger and better things. We won the Super Bowl. They won't say nothing then, will they? So who cares? Our goal is the Super Bowl. That's what we're playing for. But I want to thank you guys for chiming in. I want to give a big shout out again to the Niner faithful all over the world, especially you guys on the East Coast and other countries that are staying up late to watch these podcasts live. And definitely a big shout out to the origin of the Niner faithful in the Bay Area, and from San Francisco to Santa Clara, the whole Bay Area, man. That support the 49ers. Much love to the California home team that gives us an opportunity to be Niner fans across the world. So we thank you, man. We love you, and I'll be planning on coming out to the Bay Area this time next year. Already making some plans, so I'm hoping that I can see some of you guys. If you're tuning in from the Bay Area, I hope I can tailgate with y'all and we show love, man, and we do it right, man. I come all the way from Florida out to Cali and represent these Niners, man. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this time next year, I'll be able to do that, man. I'm working on it really, really diligently. So, but thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over to my brother, Niner Sickness, and we're gonna call it a day, man. All right.
Right on, brother. Everyone, thank you for watching the Niner Sickness podcast with your boy Niner Sickness, Florida Mike, and Boston Hater, uh, Nathaniel. Uh, he
Big
is
shout
yet
out to Nate.
he is yet to be on the show. He will be on the next show. He'll be on here with us, but he is very part of this show. Again, we are just starting this show, so please subscribe to the show, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell down below so that you will be notified of any future lives that we have. We'll be bringing a lot of content. We're going to try to do at least every Friday, if not maybe 2 or 3 times a week, if it's one of us or all three of us at the same time. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Have a wonderful Sunday. Have a wonderful week. And remember, we are 11-3, and we're in the playoffs. Keep your head up. Stay focused. And let's go win a Super Bowl. Let's go and get number 6. Peace, everyone. We're out.